Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phi and this is Money Philosophy. Thank you for coming back for another day of Tesla analysis. Today we will go over technical analysis for Tesla and understand whether Tesla has potential more downside or will be reversing in the coming days. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am a growth stock investor and a trader, and I'd love to share with you my investing and trading journeys. Without further ado, let's get right into it. As usual, we start with the daily chart. So as you can see here, the price action for the last 2 days was pretty bearish after a big delivery news gap up on Monday. So the gap was created from 1074, my blue line here, to 1147. And today, Tesla almost filled that gap. The lowest point of today was around 1082. So that was only about $8 from the gap. So for all intents and purposes, the gap is effectively filled. However, I do think that Tesla has a little bit more downside from here. Looking at the volume, today was 110%, which was predominantly sell volume. And the RSI is not yet at oversold territory. So for perspective, on Monday, when Tesla went all the way up to 1201, the RSI was sold to be overbought. So we know there was a chance that it could be retracing. And given the macroeconomics environment, Tesla moved down pretty substantially over the last couple of days. Before we go over to the hourly chart, I want to share the bull flag that is still technically intact at this point. The green lines here are my bull flags. The upper end of the bull flag is 1117. The lower end of the bull flag is 1032, which is also a very strong support. And the price target number 1 is 1209, which Tesla effectively touched as of yesterday at the high point of the day. The all-time high is 1243, and the second price target for the daily bull flag that I draw here is 1305. I tend to believe that Tesla will resume bullish and will hit 1305. The question is just when. So let's take a look at the hourly chart. So on the hourly chart, you can see that over the last few days, Tesla had been consolidating inside the range of the bull flag here. And then on Monday, after delivery news, it made a major gap up. It started the day at 1147 and continued to go all the way up to almost $1,200 on Monday. On Tuesday, it started retracing, and then today it filled the gap. Actually, it filled the gap right after hours with this candle right here. So I think that usually with a gap that was previously created, it is healthy for a stock to move back down and fill the gap. However, the fact that Tesla filled it too quickly and too vigorously within just today, because the range of trading today was literally for the entire duration of the gap here, opening the day at 1146, which is almost right on the dot of the opening point on Monday, and then it ended the day very close to the closing point of last week. It is a little bit concerning to me, and on the hourly chart as well as the daily chart, we can see that the pattern is pretty bearish now. So looking out for tomorrow, Tesla have a oversold condition on the RSI on the hourly chart. But if you remember, it was not oversold on the daily chart, which means that on the shorter time frame, Tesla could bounce because of this oversold condition here, and it could bounce back to around 1110 or 1117, give or take, and then start moving back down again until it gets to the oversold condition on the daily. Let me go back to the daily here. So on the daily, as you can see that the RSI is still hanging over here. Oversold is when it gets to less than 1% like this. Way back in mid-December timeframe, and that's how you could potentially predict a reversal. So that's where Tesla was in mid-December, but right now Tesla is not at oversold condition on the daily. So I expect the daily movement to move down a little bit, but on the hourly, Tesla could bounce. What that means for the bears or the ones that want to short Tesla is that you could probably take a put option when Tesla hit 11.10, give or take, and bring it all the way back down to either 10.69 or 10.32. I'm a natural bull, so it's really hard for me to look at put options, although from an unbiased and unemotional standpoint, Tesla is definitely more bearish than bullish at this point. Until I can see that daily RSI oversold condition, I can't say that Tesla would be reversing yet. Taking a look at the weekly chart, and I know we're only on a third trading day of the week, so it's quite, we still have another 2 days to go. On this weekly here, this is a very bearish weekly candle. And I think that if Tesla doesn't end the week above, I want to say 11.25 or so, it would make this weekly candle a very likely a reversal or a topping candle for the week, and then it could likely fall back down. Looking at the next few weeks, Tesla does have financial earnings to release at the end of January, possibly the third week of January on a Wednesday. So that could also be a catalyst for a potential bullish run. But that is not based on technical analysis. This is just based on circumstances and events around Tesla. I do expect Tesla to have a stellar quarter now that we've seen over 300,000 vehicles delivered, right? And I also think that in this coming earnings call, we can also hear about the guidance for 2022, as well as Elon Musk plan for the Cybertruck and hopefully Model 2. Tesla. So I think there's a lot to look forward to, and it is every reason for the stock to rise either leading up to earnings or immediately after earnings. For now, chart looks really bearish, and if it does go lower to the 900s, I think that's an excellent opportunity to buy for a long-term hold, but also potentially for a leap call option. But keep in mind that if Tesla does fall back down on a weekly level down to 920, which is 100 days SMA, that would create a double top on the weekly, and that is not good. So as much as I'd like for Tesla to go lower to create a good entry point for the bulls, I think that a stop right around 50 days SMA, which is 1069 or 1030, would be good enough to create a higher low so that it could potentially propel further. If it goes all the way back down to the previous low point here, which is 920, that is not necessarily bullish, even in the longer term. I know a lot of you are investors and you don't care as much about the daily movement, but I know there's a good chunk of my audience who put a lot of wealth in Tesla, so any movement in the stock could potentially affect your wealth. So you'd like to follow the price action of the stock on a regular basis, and I respect that. I don't believe that short-term holding the stock is wise, but I think that short-term trading based on the volatility that Tesla has to offer is an excellent opportunity to hypercharge your portfolio if done correctly. So for those of you who don't really believe in technical analysis, you don't have to listen to my channel. Occasionally, I would have good information about Tesla where I would analyze earnings or have projections on Tesla's earnings and price target and things like that. But I do think there are other channels that are more well established than mine, such as Rob Maurer or Stephen Mark Ryan, who have been really knowledgeable about all aspects of Tesla. Those channels are definitely a good watch, and I am a big fan of them. But I also think there is a segment of the Tesla investors who have vested interest in the daily movement of the stock price, given the fact that they have so much money invested in Tesla. But that's just my thought, myself included in the group of investors who want to know what Tesla does on a regular basis, because that does affect my overall portfolio. But that's just a little bit of my rant for those of you who don't really like technical analysis. I do think there's merit in technical analysis, and for that reason, I continue to do what I do here if the vast majority of my audience is still interested. So in summary, where do we go from here with Tesla? Short term, I see that Tesla would fall back down to 1069, which is 50 days SMA. And then it could possibly get it to an oversold condition by reaching all the way down to 1032. Then I'm looking for a bounce, given the fact that we are about a week and a half, actually 2 weeks into potentially the next earnings result. I think that it would be running next week, in the back half of next week at the latest into earnings. And that is if earnings happens on the 19th of January. If not, then it could potentially go down even further. Now, one day of bearishness could get Tesla really far, as you can see in the last 2 days. So it's really hard to know where and when Tesla will bounce. For me, I'm looking at the RSI and the volume. If Tesla continues selling off and get to a oversold condition with lower volume, that is a sign of divergence. And of course, I will be updating you guys then. But for now, as a Tesla bull, I will be waiting for an opportunity for entry, both for shares and options. I would be contemplating adding more shares right around 1060 or 1030. I will be easing in at those two levels, and of course anything below that is also a heavy buy for me. If Tesla ever bounce off of 1032, then I will reconsider to see if there's a possibility to enter a call option. Oftentimes, I would just be sitting on the sideline leading into earnings, and I will actually purchase options after earnings, because I think that would be when premium is deflated after news and events, and it could potentially give me better returns. That's just my general philosophy for right now. It is more bearish than bullish, and if you are interested in a put option, I would wait for a little bit of a bounce on the hourly before entering that put option. So this is it for this video. I hope you find the information helpful. Comment down below if you have any feedback or a comment that you'd like me to take a look at, as well as any questions you have about Tesla. I will try to answer as much as I can. If you are interested to have direct access to me and for me to answer any of your questions on a reasonably timely manner, you can also consider signing up for my Patreon page linked down below. There I have regular analysis on Tesla and a few other stocks, and I answer all of my patrons' questions as well. So that's it. Thank you very much, and until the next video.